Good day and welcome to Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza again. It's Schoolboy Rugby again, and welcome to the podcast where we talk Schoolboy Rugby, and once again, Schoolboy Rugby. Again, as always, joining me is, of course, the founder, Mr. Louis van Kopenhagen. How are you today, Louis?
Good on you, Steve. No complaints. I think this is going to be an interesting episode. Just to give an overview of the Noordvaal Cup so that people can understand how it's structured and why it's structured like this and who are the teams that will participate in this.
Absolutely. Of course, we are talking about the Vaal Trophy. It has officially started. We already passed week 2 of the tournament, and it's probably the biggest league tournament in South Africa. It was first known as the Administrators Trophy. I remember my dad participated in the Administrators. He played for Help Mekaar. He played in the semi-finals in '69. Then the name was changed to the Directors Trophy. In our days, Louis, if you can remember, it was called the Vaal Trophy.
That's right.
And now it's called, and now it's called the Noordvaal Cup. So it's got a huge tradition, huge history. So let's dive into today and see what the Noordvaal Trophy is all about.
Yeah, so what we are going to look at first are the results of this past weekend that's concerning the Noordvaal Cup. So quite a few games that took place. The first one, Pearson and Kes, 15 all. That's an interesting result.
Was that also part of the Noordvaal, or was that a friendly game?
No, that was just a friendly. So,
okay, great stuff.
So all the games that were played after this. So Selborne, no, all of these were friendlies. From here, we get into Noordvaal. So these were all just friendlies. Very interesting. So Selborne, Weskus Gymnasium, 72-15. And then Kingswood and Pretoria Boys High was cancelled due to the fact that it seems almost more than half of Pretoria Boys High's first team had flu. So they cancelled that one.
So it was a bit of an epidemic. So for safety reasons, they cancelled the game. Yeah.
Yes, correct. So
which I think is wise.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, safety needs to come first. So, and you can't just be selfish and say, okay, let's go and play still, because it's going to create havoc, right?
Absolutely.
Then Hudson Park 45, Framesby 26. That is also a very interesting one. Brandwag 22, Daniel Pienaar 23. So Daniel Pienaar is continuing a wave of winnings over the past few weeks, which is actually very good to see. Another team that's on the winning side again, that's been very impressive this year, Nico Milan 24 and Punt 13. And this is an interesting one. So Burgersdorp 15, Figartspark 47. And interesting about this, Figartspark is part of the Free State. So they have a few players that were drawn into the Craven Week side for this year. So well done on them.
Yeah, that's a good result for them.
Now, all right, now we come to the Noordvaal. So the first one, Swartkop 47, Heidelberg 28, Montana 32, Westphalia 10. Now, this is an interesting one. This is a very interesting one. Pietersburg 45, Maree 15. And as you can recall, when we were still at school, Maree was a powerhouse in Joburg back then.
Mm.
And
Yeah, it's true.
seems they have fallen off the bus somewhere. Klerksdorp 25, Wagbos 15, Bergsig 10, Potch Volksskool 38. Now, this is also an interesting one. Lichtenburg 21, Huguenote 26. So
Mm.
was a very interesting one. And then the Anker and Jeugland, there were no, that game was cancelled. And unfortunately, no media statement came out on that one. Why
Okay.
cancelled? So, but hopefully they will be able to play next week. That's what we
Yes.
really hope for. Now we come to some of the other games as well. So Stellenberg 38, Wynberg 10, Huguenot
Yeah.
New Orleans 20, Porterville 22, Brackenfell 10, Robinson 31, Tygerberg 31. Interesting.
Yeah. Stellenberg continue their winning race against Wynberg, so they're
Yes,
still on the winning path.
yes.
And yeah, Porterville 22 against Brackenfell 10. My old schoolmate Dion, he comes from Brackenfell and World.
Ah, right.
Yeah, but his two sons are in Babelheim. But yeah,
Okay.
Brackenfell is where he stays.
Right.
In Robertson against Tygerberg. Yeah, Tygerberg is also a well-known school in the Cape Province,
Yes.
established school. So that's a very good result for both teams. Although they say a draw is almost like kissing your system. It's not ideal for any of the teams at the end of the day.
Yeah. Um, you didn't win, you didn't lose. So
Yeah, it's
that's
like it's like a stalemate in
yeah,
chess. You know, nobody wins, nobody loses. So both teams walk off the field like it's a kind of a yeah.
yeah.
But anyways, yeah.
Exactly. So, right, Hilton, Michael House, 23, 21. Now, this is another interesting one. Westville, 14,
Mm.
Disney College, 14.
Yeah, two powerhouses of Natal rugby clashing. I mean, Westville is in the top 10. I
Yeah,
think they're 10th, the latest
yes,
ranking. And Kearsley is inside the top 50. So that's a huge, huge, huge clash between two top teams in Natal rugby circles.
yeah. And Maritzburg College, 45, St. Charles, 5. Now, this is an interesting result because, yes, Maritzburg College, they've been up and down this season, so that's a massive win for them. But
Yeah.
St. Charles have actually played very good rugby in the last couple of weeks. So I think this must be a sore that's not going to go away very easily, because they have been playing good rugby. So, um, but let's see what happens this coming week and then see what they will do. I'm sure they will get back to the winning ways and then take it from there.
Yeah, rugby is one of those games, you know, when you've got an off day, the wheels can go off pretty bad. You know,
Yeah.
especially if tackles are missed and the basics aren't doing right, you know, the other team can run away with it. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's back to the drawing board for them.
Yeah.
And they can talk about it. And I'm sure the coach will have a hard, stern talk with the guys, and they will have a real hard team meeting, and expect St. Charles to come back from this victory, from this huge defeat in the next game.
Yes.
So let's keep
Definitely.
an eye on St. Charles and see how they come back, and how the boys. It's a huge test of character, you know, how strong the boys can come back from this
Yeah.
defeat.
Oh, yes. And then Port Rex, 24, Dale College, 52,
Yeah.
St. Andrews, 22, Graham College, 34.
Yeah, Graham College is having a good season so far this year.
So far, so good, right?
Yeah, they are ranked second in the Eastern Cape
Yes.
rankings. just behind Grey School.
All
And they
right.
also ranked inside the top 30. They were last, when I saw, they were 27th on the
Yes.
rankings in South
Yes.
Africa.
So
And
that's
yeah,
good.
we always say it, but I have to emphasize it. We had an interview with the coach of Graham College, and they're
Yeah.
only a school of 350 plus students. So remarkable for them
Yes.
to be able to compete against schools of 1,000 plus to 1,500, and to be able to be ranked inside top 50 in South Africa. That's remarkable.
And also remember during that interview, I asked the coach regarding if he wants to coach Craven Week, all of this, and he said he was drawn in to the Craven Week side for this year. I remember
Yeah,
that very well. So, and I think this has given them also the go, the go to show that even though he must not, be okay, my team, I'm going to select everyone from my team. But I think this has given them some inspiration to do better, to put up their hand, to show, listen, please, we want to play under you at first team and at Craven Week level. So maybe there's maybe a underlining factor that maybe this could be why they are having such a good season.
no, absolutely. Exposure is always good. Absolutely. So,
And then we come to now this is an interesting one. Central St. John's, New Zealand,
mm,
1915.
yeah.
So very interesting. And then Bethlehem Voortrekker, 35, Dr. Malan, 7. Um,
Yeah, Dr. Milan was also, of course, at that Framesby tournament. They played against Affie's 15.
yes, 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 yes. Um, you know, we we had a look at them when we were there, and also they it seems like everything they try to do doesn't always gel together. They go through the gears, and then when they go from fourth gear to fifth gear, everything falls apart, unfortunately. This has been most of their season. Um, but we really hope that they can pick up the pieces and get back to winning ways. That would be very good to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
And this is also a very interesting result because both of these teams are more or less on the same level. Welkom Gym, they've had a few losses at the St. John's Festival, as we know. Um, Otto du Plessis, 13. Otto du Plessis, up until this past Saturday, actually have had a good season. I watched this game, and Steve, it was muddy. It seems it was raining the day before, even in the early morning hours. And the pitch, you could not see a spot of green. It was muddy. Later on, even the commentators were like, okay, who now? Um, it was actually a very messy game, but Welkom Gym really played well. And especially in the last 15 minutes, they really had the upper hand in this game.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's a good result for them. It's a convincing victory.
yeah,
So, yeah.
right. Okay, so now
Yeah, these were the big games.
yes, so these were all under the Noordval. So Ege Jansen Monument, I watched that game as well. Um,
I did, yeah.
what a cracker of a game. I at
Yeah,
one stage felt very sorry for Yehia Jansen. They had no answer. But they never gave up.
but you also have to remember what they were up against. Monument has been for
Mm,
all the years since I can remember, they've been a powerhouse in Transvaal rugby. They've been the
mm,
pride of Transvaal.
mm.
It was actually a shock that they lost out in the semi-final last year. It was a huge shock, upset when they couldn't make the finals. And yeah, I think we always knew that Iggy Jansen was up against a team that have that's going to top them in every kind of division, and it was an absolute, completely demanding kind of victory for Monument. And
Mm.
of course, we all know Viljoen, that fly half of them
Yeah.
has been contracted, I think, next year for the Blue Bulls.
Yes, correct. And
He,
actually, he had a very good game.
Yeah, and he's an absolute huge potential. He's also the vice captain of Monument.
Yeah.
And it's great. It's exciting to see him play, and it's exciting to see that already some provinces are willing to invest in him and to help him with his future. So I wish him all the best for next year,
Yeah.
and I wish also Monument the best for the season. I've got a feeling that we might see Monument up against Garsfontein in this year's Vaal Trophy Cup final.
All right. Okay. So you betting on Monument versus Garsfontein for the final. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. I take nothing away. I mean, Waterkloof
All right.
will most
Um,
definitely not agree with me. So the coach of Waterkloof will most definitely say, "Hey, don't count us out." And
yeah.
I can guarantee you, help McCall. We all know Mr. Sean Jackson, the 16 coach, but I can guarantee you that Help McCall is also not going to agree with us about it. And they also saying that, hold on, we are also in the reckoning.
Yes.
So
So,
it's not going to be a clear-cut thing, but I just have a feeling
all
that we
right.
might see Monument versus Garsfontein, and that will be,
Okay.
for me, that will be an absolute dream final.
Right. And um, all right. I'm going to hold on to who I think will play in the final. I will reveal this a little bit later in the season. I've got a few teams that I would like to play in the final, but I must make a definite decision. So in a couple of weeks, I will let the cat out of the bag and reveal who I think will play in the final.
Awesome. Yeah, no, it's going to be exciting. The next game, I also happen to see Garsfontein
Yeah,
against Helpmekaar. And
yeah,
what really impressed me, that Helpmekaar never gave up.
there.
They showed incredible character. Even the commentators mentioned it, that you can see that they played with heart.
Mm,
Even though Garsfontein was the best team on the day,
mm,
Helpmekaar kept on coming back, kept on scoring tries, never gave up. And at the end of the day, it was actually a very entertaining match.
mm,
Garsfontein up against
yeah,
Helpmekaar. Of course, those two teams were last year's finalists of the
yes,
Vaal Trophy.
yeah. And Middelburg, Menlo Park, 26-25.
Yeah, also two very strong teams.
Yeah.
And what a game that must have been. We've seen Menlo Park, both teams were at the Noordside tournament.
Mm,
Middelburg and Menlo Park. So, and both teams are really top class teams. I
yeah,
think well ranked inside the top 50 in South Africa's
yeah,
Schoolboy Rugby.
yeah. And then Rustenburg, Waterkloof, that speaks for itself, I would presume. Um, Waterkloof, I watched a bit of this the first half. Waterkloof really played very well. They
Mm.
really came to the party. And Rustenburg, unfortunately, did not have any answers towards Waterkloof.
Yeah, of course, those first four games are part of the Noordvaal Cup. And now the Noordvaal Cup is Division 1. That's the premier division of the Noordvaal Cup.
Mm.
The other three games you will see is the plate and the shield. And if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken, I believe the plate will be then the second division and the shield will probably be the third division. But we will also
yeah.
look at those
But
divisions later in the program.
we will look into those after all the results. So Kempton Park, RTS Middleburg. Now, this is an interesting result because Kempton Park in the last couple of weeks have had all their games they played, they have won. So something is
Yeah,
brewing, and this will be very interesting to see. And I would really like to keep my eye out for them to see where they will end up by the end of this season.
absolutely. Yeah, no, Kempton Park has really been playing some good rugby. And RTS Middelburg is by no means a slouch. They
No,
are one of your top teams in Schoolboy Rugby.
yeah.
So
And I
absolutely.
and I mean Hottest Middleburg, when we were at school still, usually when it was still the Vaal Trophy, out of the 5 years in high school, 4 out of those 5 years, it was always Office versus RTS Middleburg in the final of the Vaal Trophy. So
Yeah, no, they've got a strong history.
then Nelspruit, Transvalia 31-20. I think that also almost speaks for itself. Nelspruit is a very good team in
Mm.
Mpumalanga. So very good on that. And then Ligbron Eldorraine. Now, this is an interesting result because at the Menlo Park tournament, Ligbron played against Randburg, and the
Yeah,
score was exactly the same, 28-14. So
yeah.
Randburg unfortunately has lost to Ligbron, and last year, remember, they lost to Eldorraine.
Yeah, we were at the game for the other rain game.
Yeah.
So
So very interesting. It's going to be a very interesting Noordvaal Cup, I think, especially for your lower divisions, because I
yeah,
think those teams are more or less on the same level. So, give or take, if you bring your game, you are going to win. It's as simple as that.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
Loughborough and Aberdeen, of course, is part of the third division. The Noordwaal Shield is the third division of
yeah,
the tournament.
yes. So, all right. Now, all right. So, here to understand just a little bit of what's going on, right? Um, so it brings teams from Gauteng, North Gauteng, Northwest, Mpumalanga, and Limpopo to play in
Yes.
this tournament. So this is a big tournament, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's very big. Now, for example, like Affis will not compete in this tournament because they are way too strong for the other teams. So they will just do their normal season, play against all the big schools during the course of this year. So,
Yeah,
and like you said before, it was the Administrators Cup, the Vaal Trophy, and now they've rebranded it, renamed it to the Noordvaal. So, and it's all about getting there's more or less the same kind of teams together in the same group so that the competition is almost like fair, right?
yes.
So, and also what they've done, they said, all right, if you are in Division One with the big schools and you've had a very bad season, you will go to Division Two. And one of
Yeah,
the best team in Division Two will move up into your place. So there is that psychological factor that if you do well, you can move up. If you do badly,
absolutely.
you are going to go down. So, which I
Yeah,
think is quite fair. Um, and I think it gives a sense of purpose and vision and more or less, let's call it bragging rights. So,
absolutely. Yeah, no, it gives you something to play for. Absolutely.
yeah. So just to give the people an insight on, so section 1 is the elite level, right? Or cup division. So these are for all your so-called big schools. Then you've got your plate division,
Yeah.
your shield division, and your bowl division, which is D League. And unfortunately, by the time we got all the information, the D League or the bowl division, the teams that will play in this division has not been confirmed as yet.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, the D League, of course, is going to be divided in two sections. I think it's a West section and a South section, but they still need to decide which teams is going to be there. I know for a fact that Randburg High were relegated from the third division, so our old school teams is going to be in the fourth division.
Yeah. And so what I've done here, so the cup division, so division A, so you've got
Yes.
J.G. Jansen, Garsfontein, Help mekaar. Now there's an interesting one. Marais Viljoen, Menlo
Yeah.
Park, Monash, Noordheuwel, Waterkloof, Nelspruit. Now Nelspruit last year finished top in the plate division. That's why
Yes.
they were able to move up. So very
Yeah.
interesting. Right. And so we actually, none of these teams actually need any introduction.
No. No, it's huge teams, and we all know Help mekaar is. If I look at this briefly, Garsfontein, Help mekaar, Monash, four of those teams are ranked inside the top 20 in South Africa Schoolboy Rugby. With the other teams are maybe strong, strong contenders for top 50 or just outside the top 20. I mean, a school like Menlo Park at one stage, I know they were 24th. So it's going to be an absolute huge battle. Noordheuwel is also a school that's just outside the top 20. We all know J.G. Jansen are a very strong competitor. They had a bad hiding against Garsfontein this weekend, but against Monash, sorry, yeah, 85-19. But I can guarantee you J.G. Jansen is going to come back and they will score a couple of victories inside the division. So I think this tournament, there's still a lot of exciting rugby that's coming ahead. And a game that I'm looking forward to, as I said, will be Monash up against Garsfontein. I think that's going to be a cracker of a game.
Yeah.
And Menlo against Help mekaar. I think it's also going to be a huge tussle because both of those two teams are very evenly ranked.
Yeah.
Help mekaar 19th and Menlo Park just outside the top 20. So that's for me, it's also going to be two of the games that I'm looking forward is Monash against Garsfontein and Menlo up against Help mekaar is two of the games I'm looking forward towards. And then Waterkloof against Monash is always
that's going to be a cracker. That's
a huge game to look forward to.
Yeah. So we are in for some good rugby this season, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
Right. Now the plate division, Kempton Park, RTS Middelburg, Hoërskool Montana, Hoërskool Klerksdorp, Hoërskool Nelspruit, Oosmoed, that's an interesting one, Transvalia, Westvalia, and look who's last on the list here,
Swartkop.
And they've
been a revelation this year.
Season.
And the thing is, I think they might be the favorites to win this one. Absolutely. I think it could be a final between, if I must look briefly, Nelspruit, aren't they they win a cup divisions, they've been relegated.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I will say keep an eye on Swartkop and Nelspruit trying to get back into the cup division. And I'm going to make a prediction and say that I believe Swartkop should probably be the favorite to take this plate division.
Okay. I'm going to make a call on this one as well. I'm going to put my money on Swartkop as well.
Yeah. Now, I've been very impressed with Swartkop.
Definitely.
And the way they've stormed through the rankings.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
And then the Shield division. Now, very interesting. Hoërskool Secunda, Hoërskool Petersburg, and now Piet Retief as well. They've actually had a very impressive season so far.
Yes.
Then Ligbron Academy, Hoërskool Lichtenburg. Now, that's also an interesting one. They've had a bit of a up and down season. So let's see what they will do in this division, because I think all of these teams are more or less on the same level. So this is
Yeah,
going to be a
absolutely.
very interesting one to keep an eye on. And then Ben Foster as well. They have actually had a very good season so far. So I think here, oof, this is going to be a difficult one to choose, Steve.
Yeah, it's very evenly. I'm going to keep an eye on Hoërskool Alderaan. People need to remember that all these teams of the three divisions are all ranked inside the top 100 or just outside. They're all ranked teams. To be playing in Noordwaal, there's so many leagues in Gauteng. So there's a lot of teams that's not even strong enough, and school teams that's not even strong enough to make the Noordwaal Cup. So for these teams to be participating in this tournament is huge. It's all, you have to remember, it's all ranked teams, and it's all teams that is part of the ranking structures of South African schoolboy rugby. Garsfontein at one stage was as high ranked as just outside the top 70. So it's a strong team. We all know Petersburg is one of the top schools from their province. They're definitely a school that needs no introduction.
Yes.
And Secunda, we all know, is a strong team.
Yes.
So, but I think I'm going to keep a special eye out for Hoërskool Petersburg and Hoërskool Alderaan. I've got a feeling that those two teams
I'm gonna
watch out for them.
For this, I will agree with you, Alderaan, and then I'm going to say Hoërskool Piet Retief.
Yeah.
Gonna keep you on this one. Right. So just some of the games that will take place. So because we didn't do the fourth division because we do not have any teams. So we're waiting for confirmation who will be in that. As soon as we do, we will let the people know. Right. So
absolutely.
Now, this is going to be mouth-watering. Monash versus Noordheuwel. That's going to be a huge one.
Oh, yes.
And then look at the two Pretoria schools.
Yeah.
Then E.G. Jansen versus Hoërskool Rustenburg. That's going to be a good one. Menlo Park versus Helpmekaar. So,
yeah.
Then the games for this weekend. Petersburg versus Marais-Viljoen. Ligbron versus Ben Foster. I think that's going to be a very closely contested game because both of them have had very good seasons, and actually when they play, they come to the party. So I think that's going to be a very good game. Then Alderaan versus Secunda. That's also going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the last few games for the plate, Swartkop versus Transvaal. I think that's going to be a very close contested game. Because both of these two teams have had very good seasons. Montana versus Nelspruit. That's also going to be actually, this is going to be a good game as well, I think.
Yeah, no, it's, I think, to my honest opinion, I think it's going to be a crack of a weekend. I'm going to keep an eye out for the Swartkop versus Transvaal game because that is a very closely contested game. And then also don't throw away Kempton Park versus Oostmoed. That's also two very accomplished schools.
Yes.
So all in all, it's I think it's going to be a mouth-watering
Yeah.
tournament for all the divisions, and I think
Mm.
people can look forward to some jam-packed rugby. And there's a reason why this tournament is so highly ranked in South African history. So
Yes.
I think people can really, really look forward to an exciting Vaal Trophy. It's part of our history. It's part of our traditions. It's always been a huge victor in South African sport, especially on the school front.
Right.
So if you are in any of the area close to the schools, come and have a look. We also are committed to at least attend a couple of the games.
Yeah.
At this stage, we are, if it's willing and if everything works out, we'll be at the finals of that tournament.
Yes.
Of course, the final will be on the 15th of August. I myself are going to be in the Cape to cover the inter-schools day between Bellville and the schools in the region.
Mm.
But we will be covering two games because I'll be in the Cape covering the inter-schools, and then Louis and his crew I will be with my crew in the Cape, and Louis and his crew will be at the finals of the Noordville Cup if everything works
Yeah.
out as we want to. So it's going to be jam-packed for us, and we are looking forward to give you coverage and to give you some promotion on the best possible way of the day.
Yes. And also,
Interviews with players and coaches.
yeah.
We are committed to give you the best coverage possible of those 2 days.
Yes.
So please stay tuned.
And also to let the viewers know, myself and our scout and our cameraman will be at the game Rand Park versus Northcliffe this weekend. So we will
Yes,
bring you live coverage from that one. We will have interviews with the players, with the coaches, and see how the day goes. So that's where we will be. So if you are in the area, please come and say hello, come and have a chat with us, and just share your thoughts. That would be highly appreciated.
absolutely. Yeah, if in the area, it's going to be at Rand Park School. Of course, Rand Park was ranked, last time I checked, they were ranked 150th in South Africa. And Northcliffe is really one of the up-and-coming schools in Gauteng. They were ranked just outside the top 70. And of course, the Nsukka brothers, that plays for the Sharks, both comes from Northcliffe High. So they're really a school that is part of South African structure, a young up-and-coming school. And I would like to give a special shout out to Matthew Banda, that is playing for the first team. I will have a check with one out of his play this weekend, but we'll be looking and we'll be watching him in anticipation to see how he's doing. So we wish him all the best, of course. Of course, once again, thank you once again for tuning in. It's always a huge honor to be able to give you the best of school rugby, to promote Schoolboy Rugby. And I want to tell you, Schoolboy Rugby in South Africa is alive and well.
Yes.
Our group, Global School Rugby Bonanza, is alive and well. We are almost approaching 1,000 members.
Wow.
Isn't that
Amazing.
incredible, Louis? We are now
Amazing.
at 983 members, and it's just incredible. The growth is phenomenal.
Yes.
Every single time we have got we have a broadcast, an episode, and a podcast episode, we have grown by 50 to 100 people. It's amazing, and we would like to say thank you so much for your support, your encouragement, and for backing us to help us make it possible to promote Schoolboy Rugby and school rugby throughout, not only throughout South Africa, but also throughout the world. We've had some amazing posts on the Facebook group. This Sunday, we had a post of school rugby, believe it or not, in Brazil. We had a member that posted about school rugby in Brazil. And for me, that was heartwarming to see that rugby in Brazil is strong and alive on the school region. It was amazing to see that. If you've got any post, no matter where you're from, please send it to us on the Facebook group.
Yes.
Join our group, become part of the Schoolboy, of the Global School Bonanza Maniacs. We are Bonanza Maniacs. So become part of the vibe, become part of the latest trend, and let us continue to promote the future, not only just of South African rugby, but the future of global rugby.
Yes.
To all our members, thank you so much. Of course, we've also got various other platforms. We are on YouTube under Global Rugby Bonanza, Global School Rugby. Yes, Global School Rugby Bonanza. And then we're also on Instagram under Schoolboy Bonanza, Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza, as well as TikTok under Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza.
Yes.
And then we also have a WhatsApp channel, Schoolboy Rugby Bonanza. And then, of course, that's not all. If you thought that was all, we've also got an online magazine that is also on the various platforms available. If you would like to know the link, it's available on our Facebook group under the featured section. And then, of course, if you've missed any of our other episodes, we're already under, I think this is episode 22, 23. We've already got more than 20 episodes. So if you have missed any of our episodes, don't worry. It's available on our YouTube channel, all of the episodes, as well as on our Facebook group under the featured section.
Yes.
Of course, then also a huge shout out to Mr. Van Kopenhagen's beloved wife, Sarah, that is helping us with the layout of the magazine. She's doing amazing work with the layout and also to help promote rugby in China. It is incredible the work that she's doing, and without her, it wouldn't have been possible to bring out the magazine to you. So a huge shout out and thank you to Sarah. Of course, also a huge shout out to our journalist, Mr. Arno Boertes, that's also involved with the magazine, as well as the interviews and helping us to contact the schools, compiling the email to help us make it possible to have interviews. Thank you so much to Mr. Arno Boertes. And then, of course, our other fellow leader, Elaine Hogan from Ireland, that is heavily involved on our Facebook group, helping us with the welcoming of the new members, and also heavily involved with projects in Ireland, as well as various other projects that we are busy with promoting schoolboy rugby. So please keep an eye on that. There's more to come. And then we also would like to thank and give a huge shout out to our cameraman, Mr. Brian Dudley.
Yes.
Without a cameraman, it's impossible for us to be at the games and impossible to bring you the visuals. So thank you so much to Brian Dudley. He's also, of course, one of the leaders on our Facebook group. He's one of the moderators. And then last but not least, we would like to say thank you to Von, our scout, the legend. It's incredible to see the growth. He's been incredible on the rugby days when we are out covering the games, helping us with interviews, helping us identify some of the scholars and the rugby players, the coaches, the management staff. He has been absolutely superb. And then finally, last but not least, to all our top contributors, our members, everyone that has contributed towards the page, towards the post, comments, that's been involved. Thank you so much for your support. It's highly appreciated.
Yes.
And of course, that brings us to the end of our chat site today. Please join us again on Wednesday. On Wednesday, we will have a look at the coming games. There's some amazing games coming up, and we will also have a look at the rankings, the latest rankings. So please join us. Thank you so much, Mr. Louis. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you once again. It's been great to be here.
It's been amazing.
Right.
And from our side, until Wednesday, it's goodbye.
Goodbye.